So this week in Chi Alpha, we're talking about religion. So Pierre, is it all right if I ask you some questions about religion?
Sure.
Okay, so our first question, pretty simple one. What religion did you grow up as?
I grew up as a Catholic.
Coptic Orthodox Christian.
Jewish.
Christian Baptist.
Would you still identify as a Catholic?
I would, but yeah, I'm still a Catholic.
Would you still consider yourself a practicing Orthodox Coptic Christian?
Yeah.
What religion would you consider yourself right now?
Not any, to be honest.
Are you still religious?
I'm still religious, but I am not as in church as often as I should.
You want to expand on that but?
So like there are things about the church that I don't really like, and because of those, sometimes I'm like not a active practicer and like don't always go to church on time, and it's pretty bad.
Basically, it was pretty non-practicing. It was just my mom, and we do the menorah and talk about around Christmas time, but we didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything really.
Catholic doctrine would say that there's a real heaven and a real hell. Do you agree? Do you think there's a real heaven and a real hell?
Yeah, I do, and it really just matters on who you want or who is going to go there. For example, I don't believe that people who practice other religions would go to hell or heaven, and then there's some people who do, so that's a issue that I have. Because even if you're a non-believer in Jesus, you should still be able to go to heaven if you are a good person, fundamentally.
Do you believe that there's a real heaven and a real hell that people will go to when they die?
I mean, I would have to, because that's in my religion, yeah.
But do you personally believe that?
Yeah.
Seems to make you just a little bit uncomfortable, though.
Not really. It's just, something you grow up with.
I don't know. I think that
Traditional Christian orthodoxy that you grew up as would say that there's a real heaven and a real hell that people are going to go to after they die. Do you think there's a real heaven and a real hell?
I was taught that, but I think the older I've gotten, I still believe in a heaven and stuff, but I don't think hell is necessarily what people think it is. I don't think it's a fiery pit or anything. I think it's just kind of I don't want to say purgatory, but it is kind of in an in-between space where you can't completely pass on.
Would you say that there's one path to heaven or many paths to heaven?
It's a complicated. There's one path, I would say.
Okay. So people who are not on that path, what happens to them when they die?
Well, they just don't go to heaven, I guess. It's complicated because that's a sort of question that I struggle with personally. Is we believe that you have to believe and you have to have good actions to go to heaven. But some people who don't believe but still have good actions, you would question whether they should or shouldn't go to heaven, just because they don't believe.
So you would say that there's many paths to heaven?
I would say yes. There's also many paths to hell, so...
Okay, so that's what I want to ask you. How does someone end up in hell?
I think that if you infringe on someone else's liberties and their values and their freedom, then that could really just get you on a negative path.
How does someone get to heaven?
I think someone would get to heaven through kind of a inner peace within yourself and where you are in the world and where you are in the universe. And I think that if you follow kind of the Christian beliefs and the fact of you're good to people and you share and you just treat others the way that you'd want to be treated and try to make a positive impact, then I think that comes back around to you. So I think that to get into heaven, you would be a good person, just genuinely.
So you would say there's many paths to heaven, one path to heaven.
I think it's different for everyone. I think everyone goes through different obstacles, so I think that they're given different tools and start off in different parts in life. So I think everyone goes to heaven in a different way.
Are there any of your friends who you are right now questioning whether or not they would go to heaven?
Not really. I'm friends with a lot of Christian people, but I'm also friends with a lot of people who aren't Christian. And I think their beliefs, it might be different from me, but if they believe it, then there might be some truth to it, and, it's on them, basically.
So there's nobody in your life right now that you're afraid, they might actually be going to hell?
No.
Do you have any friends or anybody that you know that you are afraid might be on the path to hell?
I wouldn't say so. I think everyone has flaws, but overall, most people are able to redeem themselves. And then there's also purgatory if they don't really make the cut to heaven.
So there's a way to redeem yourself, but like right now, is there anybody that you can think of in your mind and you're like, they would need to redeem themselves? They're on a bad path.
I would probably say no. I think that, yeah, some people just have bad years, and like that doesn't matter because in the future they have all the time in the world to just fix themselves and change themselves.
If you could reiterate for me, how does a person get to heaven?
You have to believe, and you have to do good deeds, and a bunch of other, like, follow the Ten Commandments, stuff like that.
So then how do you get to heaven?
So to get to heaven, you really have to help others and just build community, like love God, actually like believe in Him. But yeah, so like you have to have really strong core ideals like in your life, and you just have to follow them. So like if you don't believe in God, then you can also just do anything else. And I guess I'm sort of losing my words.
I'm gonna push back just a little bit. That's not what Jesus says. So would you disagree with Jesus?
I wouldn't disagree with Jesus, but everyone has different opinions on what would get you into heaven or hell. So I just think that like I have my own opinions, and there's really nothing wrong with that.
So whose opinion is correct, yours or Jesus?
I think that sort of everyone has different opinions, and they're all correct in some ways, as long as you take the good out of their opinions and not just take the bad out of them. Like I understand that my opinion isn't like 100% correct, but it is what I believe. So it's just a personal thing.
So you're comfortable having a wrong opinion?
Yeah.
Is Jesus God?
Yeah, I think so. In some way. I think everything is all kind of connected.
So you would say everyone's God?
I think we're made by Him. If you want to like quantify like the universe or whatever you want to like put it in front of, I think that we're all kind of connected. I mean, He made us at the end of the day, if you want to go with that.
So you think Jesus made us? Like He is the creator God?
I think it all stems together.
Okay. Is there one God who created everything and rules the universe? Current opinion, just right where you're at right now.
No.
So God does not exist.
No.
Okay. Where did the universe come from?
The Big Bang, I guess.
Where did that stuff come from?
From pressure and space and plenty of time.
No, but like, where did the stuff come from? Was Jesus God? Or is Jesus God, I should say.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, let me press you, because earlier you said there is no God.
Well, okay.